Okay, first thing to start off with, just want to talk about this idea of radian measure. It's just another way of measuring angles, I guess, so circular measure. The conversion, 360 degrees is 2 pi radians. I mean, yes, it's pi radians is 180 degrees, but I just tend to think of it that way because I can associate 360 degrees with a complete circle. And I also know the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, so I can just associate that 2 pi with 360 quite easily. So that's always how I've remembered the conversion between the two. Now, why are radians important? Well, it's really important when we come to using calculus and trig. So, but we'll get to that obviously later on. You'll see some common ones come up a lot, because just like we see 30 degrees in a lot of questions, 60 degrees and so on. So all of those in their radians equivalent will be there as well. This one, so 30 will end up being pi on 6, because remember pi is the 180 divided by 6. 45, pi on 4. 60, pi on 3. It's so easy to confuse those two, because 30 is pi on 6 and 60 is pi on 3. Just keep in mind, it's 180 divided by, so. And 90 pi on 2. So there's your first quadrant. So we see those a lot. Second quadrant ones then. 120, 2 pi on 3, 135, 3 pi on 4, 150, 5 pi on 6, and 180, there's your pi radians. You go into the third quadrant, 210, 7 pi on 6, 225, 5 pi on 4, 240, 4 pi on 3, 270, 3 pi on 2, and we get into our final quadrant, 300, 5 pi on 3, 315, 7 pi on 4, 330, 11 pi on 6, and round it off there with 360, 2 pi. So you'll see those crop up a lot in answers because, of course, you have the corresponding exact values that go with them. So instead of saying, hey, what's the sine of 30? They might say, hey, what's the sine of pi on 6? Of course, it doesn't mean we don't have other angles. We still can convert them. So 67 degrees, I would multiply by pi, divide by 180. There's your conversion. So 67 pi and 180, there is no common factor. And what it's actually equal to, remember pi, don't make the mistake of thinking pi is 180. Pi radians is 180 degrees. Pi is still, oh gosh, what is it again? 3.1415935897 oh gosh, 323. Anyway, 36 degrees then. 36 pi 180. In this case, it does simplify down, and we get pi on 5. And if we want to go back the other way then, so pi on 8, well, we'd multiply by the reciprocal then. 180 over pi. And in this case, that's 22.5 degrees. You don't have to have pi in it for it to be in radians. I mean, you could have any number of radians. So in this case, 111.1. So 111.1 times 180 divided by pi, but again, pi being the 3.14, etc., etc. And so we get, it's actually quite large when you look at it. 111 radians, you don't think too much about that, 111 radians, oh yeah, but it's actually 6,365.6 degrees.